Runners are set to go. 15-second countdown has begun.
Okay. Yeah. While we waited for the race to start off, what do our runners have to do here, actually?
Not certain, but I will say this: Durs is a pretty good runner, going 2-0 in his group stage. The same group with Glaceal and Stripe, winning that group, and then ShadowFrost, the same group with Bear, making his way also over 32. It's going to be very interesting to see two different styles of gameplay here, and hopefully we'll see what happens.
Okay, it looks like we are off, and ShadowFrost apparently is starting somewhere in the morning? Or was it evening?
I think it was evening.
Okay.
Dirts is starting in the morning. And we see an Ultra Ball, so there is a possibility that our runners not only could catch a Pokemon on Route 29, but also could have the option to check Route 46 as well.
There will be some differences in some of the encounters that they can get on certain routes, since they are on different times. And ooh, Dragonair, Kangaskhan for starters, and
the Charmander.
So you have two choices here, basically. Kangaskhan is probably the most runnable of the three, by far. So can understand them
Kangaskhan
taking
is
it.
also a good choice as well, because your rival is going to have the Charmander, which is pretty easy for several fights until it at least evolves into a Charmeleon/Charizard.
Yeah. The other option here would have been take the Dragonair, which is a pretty fast Pokemon, I believe. So we can run away from most of the things you encounter here on the first route, and it is not that likely that you are going to stay on your starter Pokemon anyway, so there's not much reason to put too much value into that one being a runnable Pokemon.
So we get a close-up of the moveset there of the Kangaskhan. It looks like it just has Powder Snow and Dynamic Punch. We see a Kingdra on screen for Dirts. Again, keep in mind, both runners have an Ultra Ball to start with.
Yeah, Kingdra is definitely a nice main to have, and Dirt is risking it with the 1 in 3 chance.
Definitely got it.
Oh, Poison Barb.
And it's got Stab Water Gun at least. It's a decent moveset, but it's not the best. However, Kingdra is definitely one of the top tier Pokemon categories. It has very good stats, and it only has one weakness, and that is to Dragon type Pokemon.
It is a it has very balanced stat. It's not really that strong, but it does not die either. So, yep, one of the better choices you can run.
So we've seen ShadowFrost go to Route 46 for encounters. The only two Pokemon we've seen there are Dugtrio and Xatu, I believe.
ShadowFrost running into a few Articunos here. It has that Drill Peck, so... Well, Articuno is not really that strong offensively either. I think the Kingdra has more attack stats, but it is a very bulky Pokemon.
Ooh, you see a Gengar also on Dirt's screen.
Probably worth looking at. Gengar is very fast, very strong special attacker. Definitely something you can run.
So far, we've only seen 2 physical moves from the Gengar. We have yet to see the other 2 moves.
Usually it is to be expected. Most very strong special attackers, for some reason, have only physical moves in the beginning. almost descends into meme category on some occasions.
And we've seen it early on also that Dirt's picked up Flash. Oh, so ShadowFrost will also pick up Flash very shortly.
The ShadowFrost with the Flash pickup. Yeah, early Flash find is always interesting. This gives a lot more reason to go into the Dark Cave and grab that first item, even if it is not in logic yet. It is just one Zephyr Badge away from being actually valuable, and you do not really want to leave behind an early progression item like Surf or even a part of Fly. So,
yeah, and it's one thing that most runners will generally do, even though that first item in Dark Cave is not in logic. It's definitely an item you don't want to pass up early, because it could be anything. It could be Surf, it could be a badge, basically anything for the most part that could lead towards progression.
Kingdra struggling here a bit with the Golduck that just used Leech Seed. That's not really helpful.
I think it was the first Pokemon that used Leech Seed, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, okay then. Not as much of a problem if the Kangaskhan goes down here. But missing all of the dynamic punches. Oh.
Yeah, Dynamic Punch, even though it has 150 base power, it is a coin flip. If Dynamic Punch hits, it's 50 accuracy. This Kingdra is having some real major issues here against this Golduck.
Yeah, I mean, it is only on level 3, so this early does make a really big difference already.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
And the moveset against the Golduck definitely wasn't helping.
Oh, not at all.
Being able to hit water types, and yeah.
Yeah, only
we see the difference here on ShadowFrost. Articuno on level 5 having Stab Drill Peck.
Yeah, Stab Drill Peck is absolutely great for the Articuno, although it's not ideally physical, but Drill Peck is stab for the Articuno, so it's very nice to have. And then we see Hyper Potion in Dark Cave. And a rare candy.
Two nice things to find, but they are not the most useful this early. Can be nice though to have the knowledge that you won't miss any rare candies because of having your bag full, since there's already a slot for them.
But yeah, as long as you're holding at least one rare candy in your bag inventory, then it should be no issue missing rare candies whatsoever.
Bit of shopping, Dirt deciding to go to the escape rope chamber first.
Yeah, there really wasn't a lot of money items on the early routes, so potentially the Ruins of Alpha escape rope chamber could have money items or even a key item as well. We'll see what happens here very shortly. Looks like ShadowFrost is opting to ascend Sprout Tower first before going to the chamber.
Yeah, definitely a bit more viable for ShadowFrost with the Articuno having Stab Drill Peck. The Kingra's moveset definitely does not encourage taking potential harder fights this early, even if it will get some level on the first trainer, which is 4 level 3 Pokemon.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And the moveset's not the best for the Kingdra, but keep in mind that Dirts did pick up TM46. We still don't know what it is, but I assume that Dirts is going to check that TM before the first trainer in Sprout Tower.
Wanna say we... Oh, okay, Bubble Beam. Yeah, that will
it's an
help.
upgrade. It's an upgrade from Water Gun, that's for sure. It's 65 base power with stab. It's close to 100 power with stab.
Yep, that will definitely be way more helpful than Water Gun, which only would have or has 40 base power, and with stab that would amount to 60. So, yeah, that's a very nice upgrade.
Yeah, and also on top of it, Bubble Beam also has the slight chance to decrease the opposing Pokemon speed as well.
Yeah. Still, it does not increase the coverage range of Kingdra, so any water or grass type Pokemon still are not really that easy to get through.
Okay, so it looks like ShadowFrost picked up Fog Badge?
Yep. It was in Sprout Tower. Second floor, I believe.
And that's also good news for the Kingdra, because that is also going to, once it gets Surf, it's going to not only have stab, but also it's going to be able to help with the later checks as well. Alright, there is the Fog Badge for Dirts.
Meanwhile, ShadowFrost has made it all the way to the Elder. Let's see if the Articuno can manage to get through this fight here.
Ow, and that is a Sacred Fire from the Mareep.
And on the other side, Kingdra did further improve the moveset. That was a Body Slam. That's certainly a nice upgrade over Stomp. At least in damage.
Both Stomp and Vice Grip there. Yeah, Articuno is having some trouble here against this Aerodactyl. The burn is unfortunately going to faint the Articuno.
Also, the burn decreasing the power, the attack power of Articuno, definitely not what you want to have.
The good news, at least for ShadowFrost, is that he had both a Revive and a Revival Herb.
Still sticking with Bite though.
Yeah, not much you can do against an Aerodactyl, not just being flying, but it's also rock as well.
Yeah. And in theory, Articuno has a slightly higher special attack, so you would prefer to run it with special moves. Again. But yeah, that was Sprout Tower. Not too much progression there. There was a Fog Badge, and that was basically it.
Yeah, it was only Fog Badge.
Okay, Kingdra now definitely won't have as much problems with the Aerodactyl. Stab, Bubble Beam will deal with it just fine. And looks like it will also deal just fine with the level 9, which is the Phanpy.
Wait a minute, why is there a Pidgey in Faulkner's gym?
I think someone has to check on how Dunsparce is feeling. That's not what is supposed to happen here. Oh, and again with the Sacred Fire Burn.
Yeah, Sacred Fire usually has a high chance of burn if it hits.
Using the full restore ShadowFrost got from the Elder. Yeah, with a mainly physical moveset, you really do not want to leave that burn on there. Even if you could take the few HP loss, it could happen. Yeah.
Nice flinch from Bite there. So it looks like Articuno is gonna have no issues here against Faulkner, as is the Kingdra. Star Piece and TM05.
So no more immediate progression, no ability to early main swap weapon surf that we would have been able to use. So we do have to move on towards Route 32 for now.
Keep in mind one thing also, I believe ShadowFrost still has yet to do the Ruins of Alpha Escape Rope Chamber, so I think ShadowFrost is going to go ahead and do that right now.
That is absolutely correct.
Dirt's taking care of his shopping in Violet before he ascends to Route 32.
And now we are moving onwards and get to see new checks. Let's see what we will find here and how our route will be affected by some of them maybe.
Yeah, there's going to be 3 checks here that will determine what happens next. And then also there are the checks in Union coming up after that.
Which should be 6 more at this point, potentially 8.
Yeah, potentially 8 if the runners find Surf in Union. So nothing on Route 32 there, it looks like. The first item is an HP up.
It's money, but no progression.
Yep, Max Revive is actually a pretty good pickup there.
Burn here, not so much, but ShadowFrost probably would have liked that earlier.
On more than one occasion, definitely. Oh, there's the basement key.
That is an interesting pickup. Now, for these settings, there is a modifier on that we are never forced to have an early basement, but it's certainly an option that you can play for.
Yeah, we seen a race earlier this week where a runner opted to do vanilla basement, and in this tournament modifier, you normally don't have to do vanilla basement. That's definitely not required.
We also picked up Dig TM, so if we want to, we do not have to worry about escape ropes anymore.
Yeah, the unfortunate part for Dirts is that he purchased escape ropes while he was in Violet, so he wished he could hold on to more of the polka dollars that he had in order to buy additional items, potentially in Goldenrod later.
There's still the option that you can just resell them. You lose a bit of money, but you get at least some of it back. Yep. If you want to improve your funds for shopping there, that is an option you have available now. Kingdra getting paralyzed is a bit annoying.
Ooh, Jump Bluff has Rock Throw, and Articuno is quad weak to rocks.
Or it would just it would need to hit that though, and Stab Drill Peck is just taking care of it.
Oh yeah, Drill Peck without question is a very good move.
Flareon has Thunder. The nicest thing to have against an Articuno.
Oh, the Sea King has Self-Destruct, and down goes the Articuno.
That one went boom.
Well, at least the good news for ShadowFrost is that he also had a revive in his inventory, so not the worst thing to happen. But if it did happen again, then it would be pretty catastrophic.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate that on the other side, the dirt got through the Sea King without it exploding. So that's a bit unfortunate there.
Yeah, it was a reminder of yesterday's race where one of the runners faced a Chansey. That Chansey happened to have Self-Destruct as well.
That is scary.
Alright, so Dirt's coming up on the last fight in Slowpoke well with the Rockets, and then we'll see what decision he does next. And that is a Tyranitar for the level 14.
That should not be too much trouble, as that Articuno has Jump Kick. But it's definitely a nice chunk of experience. It just... okay, that was Skull Bash. I just wanted to mention it should just not use a Rock type move against the Articuno.
Right.
That would be bad.
And there's the SS ticket, so there's our Kanto access for both runners.
Well, if we find Squirt Bottle.
Yeah, Squirt Bottle or Pass has to come first before that.
So this could also be our North Johto access, depending on what we will find.
Well, no matter what, we're gonna have North Johto access, because even if Squirt Bottle is found, that's easy access to North Johto, but if the pass is found, then the runners have to take the boat from Vermilion to Olivine and ascend North Johto from there.
Yeah. It would, that would have implications for fly logic though, so it's definitely interesting to find it, or find the SS ticket this early, and depending on what we find, fly could either be in North Johto or it can't.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where fly ends up being later on in this run.
Okay, and Dirt now all the way to Bugsy. And we are actually seeing something that is...
Kingdra gets burned there, unfortunately.
Yeah, a bit less bad for Kingdra, as it has some special attacks that it can still use, and those aren't affected by the burn, but still nothing you are really happy about happening. And oh, another Tyranitar. I don't think that will go down in one hit. That killed the Kingdra. That does not do Skull Bash.
And it did Skull Bash there, so the Kingdra will take down the Tyranitar, and Bugsy has been defeated. We'll see what Bugsy gives. Hyper Potion, and the Rainbow Wing.
Another interesting item to find early. This is tough. access to Tin Tower once we are able to get to a critique.
We see Dirt's making good use of that burn heal that he picked up earlier.
Still no immediate progression though, so we will need to find something somewhat soon. We only have Ilex and then Goldenrod left, until we have to do some very unfortunate backtrackings.
If I had to place a guess on what the next progression item would be, it'll probably be Surf, and maybe, just maybe, it'll be in the forest. Just a hunch.
It kind of pointed in that direction, though there still could just be pass, and then all of a sudden quite a lot more would open up. Same with the squirt bottom.
Oh, absolutely. So, any progression item could just basically open additional checks for our runners.
What we most likely won't see as the next progression, though, is the card key, because early Rocket Tower, or for the Rocket Tower, we would need to find 7 badges, and we have found 1. So we are slightly off of that still. We'll see. Nugget to start out Ilex Forest. Nice to find before Goldenrods to make your shopping just a bit more comfortable.
Yeah, and on top of it as well, our runners will have to buy a Waterstone, considering that the Waterstone Chamber is one of the 4 Ruins of Elf chambers needed for checks. Looks like Dirts is going to save, escape rope out of Ilex, and go check the charcoal check.
Yep. It is not required, can just reset back to the forest. Saves a bit of walking back. And that protein is something you can think about keeping, and it is, again, nice money to have, and you are coming up on a Goldenrod, where every bit of money can definitely help.
Yeah, in this situation, normally... Oh, there's Zephyr Badge. So normally in that situation, if there is no key item behind charcoal in that kind of situation, I just normally just reset no matter what. But with that Zephyr Badge now, flash checks are now in logic.
Yeah. Most notably, the only flash check that is currently in logic for us we already did on both sides, so it does not open up anything immediately until we find at least Surf. But yeah, having flash access already this early definitely will come into effect once we are getting a bit more things open.
Oh yeah, definitely. We saw Dirts pick up the Pokegear in the forest.
We do need to find all 3 parts of the Pokegear, and once we found them and have access to Kanto, we can wake up this level 50, which would have been the Snorlax in the vanilla game, which we do need to do at some point if we want to finish. But yeah, that's also always a nice chance to switch to a higher level Pokemon. But
Most definitely.
Yeah, we can now do that as Surf was located in the Mark basement. So this also opens up a few checks that we kind of moved past already. The 2 checks in Union, we have the 2 checks in Violet City, and yeah, Tojo Falls and Cherry Grove. Which have also additional checks open now, which feels a bit bad because it's a long way to go back to, and that's not something you really want to do without Fly. But yeah, currently we do not have much other options.
Yeah, it's a couple minutes worth of backtracking, unfortunately, should the runners decide to backtrack towards Tojo Falls or anywhere in that direction.
And the Flash Chamber now fully in logic. Okay, that were some very underwhelming TMs, I want to say.
Alright, so looks like Dirt is going to save and go check the item in Bike Shop.
That is nothing worthwhile.
It's
You can just reset.
And he's going to reset it. It is Sandstorm.
Yeah, you do not want to use Sandstorm at any point, and now you save yourself a phone call that you would get later in this run if you decide to keep the bike shop check.
There's nothing there. And those two checks in Radio Tower, TM19 and Guard Spec respectively, behind Radio Card Check and Buena.
And not impressed by TM19 resetting out of the Radio Tower 2. That's the upside of that specific location to save. You can just do save resets for both of those checks, or for the three checks all in one here. Just make it very nice. And you now have the knowledge there is a guard spec on Buena that if you have to do Rock Tower at some point later, you can just always pick back up. It's definitely something. It's definitely nice to have one or two for certain setups, especially for our setup on Red later. Oh, but that Dragon Breath, that is further improving the moveset of the Kingdra. And of course, Surf upgrading Bubbly.
Yeah, Dragon Breath, as we mentioned before, is stab for the Kingdra. Kingdra having both water and dragon types for the Pokemon that it is. So Surf, Dragon Breath, pretty respectable moveset as far as special moves, and in addition to having Body Slam.
Yeah. Of course, Kingra's biggest upside being completely balanced and mixed attacker. You can really build it the way you want, and physical or use any amount of physical or special moves you want. So that's definitely a nice composition of moves, considering what we have, what we got offered until now.
Alright, so we see Dirt's finishing up Whitney, while ShadowFrost is checking the item in the basement, in the underground, excuse me. It's a full heal, and there's a card key there for Dirt's.
Yeah, so once we get 7 badges, we have already entire access to Radio Tower and the basement. But we're still 5 badges away from that for now.
Oh, that's the 4-poke optional. That is Juggler Irwin, unfortunately.
Yeah.
To answer a question in chat, the answer is yes. Dragon Rage is one of the few moves that are banned in Pokemon randomizers. The other moves being the OHKO moves being Guillotine, Fissure, and Horn Drill.
We also got a look at the Kenya here on the ShadowFrost side, which is a Magmar that has self-destruct.
That was a very good self-destruct there from that Magmar as well to get the Machamp down to 1 HP.
moving onwards to the remaining Route 35 check. One more fight for level 15 Pokemon here. Executor should be going down to Drillbreak. Pretty smooth. Kingdra might need 2 hits.
Yeah, it's definitely going to need to.
On his speeds fall, but yeah, gets it done in 2 hits. The Stealth Dragon Breath there to finish it up. And just a Smoke Ball as a prize for that. So yeah, our progression does lie somewhere else. Hopefully here in National Park.
Yeah, we can only hope for that. So ShadowFrost is going to miss out on 1 check as he's decided to do the bug catching contest. Now, generally, one of the checks is the Quick Claw check over in National Park. And unfortunately, with ShadowFrost opting to do bug catching contest first, he's going to miss out on that check.
Deciding to catch another Pokemon here, though. This Eevee doesn't want to stay in the ball, and it probably should not be allowed to hit too many more Mega Horns. Yeah, that's an interesting moveset on that Eevee.
Yeah, I saw Mega Horn and Psybeam on it.
But yeah, it looks like we do have to do at least some kind of backtracking.
Unless Route 34 has an item here.
Even
TM24.
Even then, this was already a slight backtrack. A minimal one, but still.
Oh yeah. Unfortunately, Dirts is going to pass on the Soft Sand Girls for now, but it's not really necessary at this point, considering what level the Kingdra is at. But he could always come back for it later.
Yeah, there is that slight chance that this is actually your progression. That fight is fully in logic now, but with their current mains, I definitely can't understand they won't.
And Dirts hit Hiker Anthony on I think it was Route 33 there.
Looks like ShadowFrost now wants to tackle Whitney's gym, but is going to take a year first. But yeah, we do have to do some more backtracking here, which is kind of annoying, but having done all the checks so far, except for Softs and Girls, which most likely no one is doing in that position, has the knowledge that at least your opponent will be doing the same.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. So we see ShadowFrost is starting the Goldenrod Gem, where we know Card Key is located.
Okay. Kingdra actually not being high enough in level to get the repulse to work here, being on level 22 and running into level 22 encounters, which were a Goldeen and a Togepi so far. With an earlier serve, this would have been a chance to maybe get a main switch going in here, but at this point, the Kingdra already being at the same level.
There's Rising Badge for Dirts.
That's something you are probably not as unhappy about as you might have been on other times, since you are already backtracking. But yeah.
Yeah, if you're in Dirt's situation, you're already backtracking. Why not just do all of your backtracking going all the way to Tojo Falls?
You know, it gets incentivized more. In other situations, this would have been definitely a bit more cause for pain, because you really do not want to do not really want to go back just for that Rising Badge check. That's so much out of your way.
That rare candy there from the Miracle Seed check. It looks like Dirts is going to do Flash Chamber.
I mean, it's the most lucrative spot currently, so there's really no reason to skip it.
Oh, without question. This is definitely something I would have done as well. This is a very good play by Dirts.
For very, very quick checks here. And the seed kind of pointed you in this direction, so you can reasonably hope to find something here. Oh, that's another badge.
It's the Rainbow Badge. And there's Rock Smash. That's huge, actually, because that's going to make backtracking much more efficient for Dirts here.
Yeah. Important to note, it is not in Logic. Rock Smash is only in Logic, with finding the Squirt Bottle and then talking to the Rock Smash guy after it. But you don't really care in this position. It just makes your backtracking more efficient, as you said. So, yeah, great find.
It's a pretty good advantage early on to have Rock Smash early, even without the Squirt Bottle. Alright, so Dirts will probably check the Kenya quest item, turning the Kenya in. And he gives Squirt Bottle.
There's the Squirt Bottle. Now we do have
Now Dark Cave is in Logic.
Yeah. And we have not access to North Johto, we have access to Kanto, we have access to quite a bit of stuff. Still, you are already here. All of these checks can have a part of Fly, so it is definitely a good idea to check them out. Dirt did save beforehand, so there's always the chance, if there's nothing in here that you need, you can just save reset back here and save you the trip back. But we will see if that is an option.
The Rock Smash Pokemon is a Girafarig.
If we had access to that earlier, it would have definitely been another decent choice to run. But at this point, unfortunately, not anymore.
Not a bad find there with Ambulate Coin. So nothing there in Dark Cave with Rock Smash. Dirt's just going to check the item on 46, and that is Mystery Berry. So more than likely now, Dirt's is going to go check Tojo Falls.
Yep. Oh, nope. I'm deciding to hit up the Cherry Grove item first. Does mean we will get to see a Rival 1 fight.
Yeah, Rival 1, as we know, started with the Charmander because both of our runners selected Kangaskhan, the middle Pokemon in Elm's lab.
Unfortunate counter for Dirt. It is a Scyther though. It's another Pokemon that could be decent to run, although it has one inherent problem, and that it wants to evolve to a Scissor at from level 30 on. And the Speed Choice Storm that we use as a base, and more often than not you actually would prefer to keep the Scyther if possible, and that is not really feasible without an Everstone.
So the only good news and bad news with Scizor as well is that the good news is it only has one weakness. The bad news is it's quad weak to it.
So
Rising,
it does also it does get considerably slower, which does make that weakness definitely way more potent. So
ShadowFrost also picking up the Squirt Bottle. So Dirts is going to go check the items at Tojo Falls.
I mean, we did not find anything worth keeping until now, did we?
Squirt Bottle was on the Kenya check when you turn in Kenya. And
It's a coin case, so...
Dirt is going to soft reset here.
Yeah, all these checks that we found, Rock Smash, That's No Logic, Rising Badge, all of that amounted to nothing. So kinda good way to end all of these, since you do not have to backtrack at all. Just save resets away from there. Rapidash. Another Pokemon that definitely would have been an okay choice to run.
Looks like Dirts is going to catch it for backup here.
Maybe, probably not for so much as backup, more for having a third Pokemon to use all the HMs on that we will most likely get access to over the course of the seed.
Oh yeah, that is very true. Yeah, you need at least 2 Pokemon that you do not run as Pokemon that you can put HMs on.
There are 7 HMs that we can use for checks. There is that Rock Smash TM for few more checks, and there is also Dig as a TM that you can potentially want to have instead of Escape Rope. So there are 9 moves that you can use in some ways. And yeah, having only 4 slots for that, even if you put maybe 1 or 2 of them on your main, you will need at least 1 more Pokemon.
Yeah, it's definitely about managing HMs as well. Which Pokemon get which HM, and if you're running a physical or a special Pokemon, which physical or special HM that Pokemon might get early on.
Yep.
So right now, Dirts is taking on the Kimono Girls. ShadowFrost on his way to Tojo Falls, which we know had nothing there.
Definitely an interesting decision to take on the Kimono Girls this early. That's not something all runners always do, especially with how much we do have open to us. With Surf, we do have full access to the Rocket Hideout. We do have access to Kanto, although Fly and Stormwitch cannot be behind the boat, so at the moment, without the pass, cannot be in Kanto. But this might be pointing slightly in the direction that Dirt is intending to keep that Kingdra possibly all the way to the end, and therefore
Kingdra, as we mentioned, is very good.
Yep.
And another thing also in the race yesterday between Ethan and Wingage. Wingage did Komodo Girls. Komodo Girls had Whirlpool, and that was the ultimate deciding factor in that race. But today, the Komodo Girls have Dragon Fang.
And to be fair, could be worse. You have Dragon Breath on your Kingdra. Yeah, what I wanted to say, Joe, I just saw we do have an Earthquake TM. That's a very nice TM to have. Right there, number 45. Dirt did check the Rock Smash item in Burnt Tower, which turned out to be nothing interesting.
I do forget as well, did ShadowFrost end up defeating Whitney?
I think so.
I believe he did.
I mean, the Articuno should not have struggled too much, especially after getting a center heal. But I did not really pay attention at the moment. Big thing here though is ShadowFrost did not save at the Kenya turn-in. And yeah, it's going back all the way on bike, not safe resetting there, which does cost a bit of time. And although ShadowFrost does get to keep some of the items they found there was not really too many utility in there. I think there was a full restore and that emerald coin and a bit of money, but yeah, this.
Ooh, that is a mole trace for the Suicune. I didn't quite catch the other two.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I have this tendency where if I do not get reminded that the aromas are coming up, I just talk through them.
It's perfectly fine. With ShadowFrost accessing Equity here very soon, we'll definitely get a chance to look at the roamers again.
Yeah. And already having the knowledge about the Moltres there as the Suicune is something you can think about once, or especially if you get to find an early clear bill, somewhat. Or definitely at least for ShadowFrost, because that Articuno has a decent moveset, but it is not the greatest Pokemon to run. And it being legendary, there is an inherent disadvantage of having a higher XP curve, which we kind of saw already, although...
Ooh, that is the Sheen part for ShadowFrost, I'm sorry.
No, although both started on a similar level, and ShadowFrost actually did get those 2 more levels early on before the first trainer fight. The Kingra out-leveled the Articuno already, and kind of shows that, yeah, there will be a level disadvantage for ShadowFrost the longer this is going on.
Yeah, which definitely, more than likely, ShadowFrost will probably look for a main switch once he makes his way over to Kanto.
As for Dirt, that Kingra definitely is, or can run all the way to the end. There's really not much better that you can find, and whatever else you are potentially running needs to be definitely way higher in level than the Kingra is. That is the point you find it to even consider it.
ShadowFrost starting Rival 3. We'll switch audio very shortly over to ShadowFrost so we can get a chance to check out the roamers.
Oh, and apparently ShadowFrost did switch over to Seadra at some point, which I didn't really pay attention to, which eventually will evolve into a Kingra too. So, yeah, has step surf already, so if you can get this to work somehow.
Unfortunately, they're getting hit with a special defense drop twice in a row. Down it goes.
Back to the Articuno, which does have some stat XP and is overall very more defensive, so should not have as much trouble. And definitely ShadowFrost can look at potential Roma strats here. Getting an upgrade to a level 40 Pokemon here for ShadowFrost, even if it is not the Moltres.
Ow, and that is Stab Fire Punch for that Charmeleon.
There's one more revive.
full heal. So Morty indeed is a scam today.
Well, we cannot get the final verdict on that just now. We are missing 3 more badges until we can say that for sure. Because we might need Morty still as Tin Tower access currently.
There's the rumors for ShadowFrost. Let's take a listen. Alright, so I can 100% confirm that it is Giraffarig, Hoot Hoot, and Moltrix.
If ShadowFrost is able to at least identify the Giraffarig, there's definitely reason to say, well, let's give it a try. And it does look like ShadowFrost wants to not give it a try.
There's radio card for Dirts.
Okay, Dirt. Doing some shopping here over in Olivine, grabbing Super Repels. 40 should be enough for the rest of the seed, grabbing some Hyper Potions.
Yeah, generally in this game, this is the first real location where you can buy Super Repels.
We did find the Cascade Badge there, right before Mount Mordred on the surf exit entrance.
Yeah, Cascade helps with water moves.
So one more badge towards our 7 that we need to access Radio Tower.
Ooh, and there's the clear bell.
Oh. Now this might this might get the the interest of ShadowFrost up to get into Tin Tower. Unfortunately, though, is that we do need to fight the 3 sages to do that. And at this point, especially for ShadowFrost, this could be painful.
Yeah, it very well could be. And on top of it as well, both runners have card key, so there is also the option to skip Morty. So if both runners do Radio Tower once they have 7 badges, then there's another way they can access Tin Tower. So it's like Dirts is going to check the last item in Lighthouse. So far, nothing of interest.
Definitely kind of was an interesting decision of Dirt to go over there without checking any of the Mount Mortar stuff or gone more eastwards towards Lake of Rage and potentially Rocket Hideout, since we do have that SS ticket and therefore access to Kanto over there, which we do not want to take until we get Fly. Oh. Kind of could point into the direction of double dipping here potentially. On the other hand, if one part of Fly is just here, or parts of Fly are over in the Rocket Hideout. Dirts has the Fly point here, so...
So he's gonna save and potentially go check the pharmacy item in Cianwood. Keep in mind also, Dirts also has an Ice Punch TM that he picked up.
Well, that's a very nice TM to pick up. Also, ShadowFrost here now on Morty. I mean, with the Clear Bell, definitely interested in getting to Tin Tower. Maybe just for the Suicune, maybe for the both level 40 chances. And if not, even if not, there's so many items in there. And I don't think currently at this point wanting to skip Morty is enough reason to try and get up to 7 badges into Radio Tower, where you would struggle maybe just similarly. I don't know. I definitely can see the appeal of trying to get into Tin Tower if you can. But the big problem is, can you really? If you just do Morty, will that be enough to get through the stages? You can try this even if it is slow, activate the center in Acrotique and try to push through each stage one at a time. Every stage you defeat will stay defeated, so you do not have to defeat all 3 of them in a row. But still, they do have 2 level 32 plus Pokemon each, so... Currently, it is definitely not an easy task for ShadowFrost. And going over to the Rocket Hideout definitely would have given you quite a few more levels. Would have made it way easier. But we will see what ShadowFrost is intending to do. Go into the Marsh, probably trying to get rid of all the money you have, since you may get a feint or 2 in the near future. And there's a clear bill for dertswa. The Cascade Badge. Yeah, man, with that center heal, I think ShadowFrost, yep, is going to try it. If... Ooh, that's a nice shiny.
It's very interesting, shiny. Shiny Celebi.
Probably not really be able to kill it, but you can catch it. Oh, and that is a Mewtwo on the first stage. I do not think you get past this.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Oh, and it has Mega Horn.
Oh, wow.
Unfortunate that the Sacred Fire doesn't burn though. And Sidra lives again. Get the crit and the third. No burn. Yeah. What is this Mewtwo? Yet no slash going to crit. I don't think this is going to work. Surf does not take down the Mewtwo. Just needs one more hit though. Okay, Mewtwo goes down. This should be a level for Sidra at least. Charizard. If the Sidra is fast enough to get off the surf first, should work. It's not though. And Body Slap does not really help.
Wow, that first stage is stacked.
There a full restore around, hoping that it does not kill and gets through. Okay, one sage down.
That's the good news. The bad news is these fights are all in consecutive order, so ShadowFrost will have to heal during this next fight.
Or take a feint, go back to the Golden Aquatic Center, and then try again fully healed. Because this Snorlax will be a wall, especially if it uses Barrier. Getting the burn off this time though. This could work. It will be slow, but it could work. And the Snorlax apparently really does not want to attack. It's copying the X specials though that ShadowFrost is setting up. And that is the Snorlax down, and the Farfetch should not be as much of a problem. Especially with the X special setup. So that's 2 sages down. Dizzy Punch, not too great for the Seadra yet. Kingdra probably can use it more. Okay, one more sage to go.
And first Pokemon is a Jolteon.
This could be bad, but not if it just uses Cotton Spore.
Yeah, Cotton Spore, well, it's still gonna be outsped by a lot of Pokemon thanks to Cotton Spore.
Yeah, and Trash is not really scary on the Jolteon. Jolteon is a strong special attacker. Physical attack, not so much.
Yeah.
Weakly tough, especially with Step Headbutt, can be a problem though.
Oh, and that flinch was a problem as well. Oh, okay. And it has self-destruct, and it crit.
I mean, that is good and a bit bad, so you do not get the XP, but the fight is over, so that's the most important part.
And the most important part as well is that all 3 sages are down.
Yep. So somehow or other ShadowFrost got through these sages. Meanwhile, that's what does fight the Pokédex over in the Rocket Hideout, so has the option of dexing the Mewtwo we saw.
Not the menuing. Alright, ShadowFrost going up against that Moltres, the level 40.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to try and feint it for XP. You definitely want to catch it.
Oh, that's Crunch.
Crunch.
Very interesting.
Okay start. Definitely something you can think about maybe switching to if it has more of this kind of moves. Sleep Powder would actually be some interesting utility.
And it got in the ball. So we know it has Focus Energy, Sleep Powder, and Crunch. I have to wonder what its 4th move is.
Yeah, I mean, probably not really that worth switching to, although seemingly wanting to. We do have Surf. Stomp, not the greatest. I mean, the Seadra is got closer to to the Kingdra, and Kingdra would definitely be the better option to run. But the Moltres is higher in level, and ShadowFrost did play to it.
Yeah, I don't blame ShadowFrost for switching to the Moltres.
Well, I started off with an Articuno, then switching to the Moltres. I kinda see a theme there. Ideal scenario would probably be the Snorlax, or maybe if we get to the Lugia, that being a Zapdos. Preferably with Thunderbolt. And then ShadowFrost would complete the Trinity. There's a plane badge here in Tin Tower. This could actually be interesting if Strength pops up here soon. Because then ShadowFrost would potentially have the option to just push past Mahogany and go towards Blackthorn and do that loop. Even although Fly cannot be past Mahogany.
Yeah, that's the only problem is that there's HMO6 there. Yeah, without having Fly and Storm Badge, normally you don't go in the Ice Path past the strength checks, but at the same time, it's not a bad idea, because there's a lot of checks waiting past that.
Yep. And there's HMO4.
Speak of the devil, there goes Strength. So if ShadowFrost wants to get access to Blackthorn, and ShadowFrost is gonna have to do Rocket Hideout.
So the one problem ShadowFrost would have with that play is that we are still only on 6 badges. Unless we did miss Dirt picking up another one that ShadowFrost would get there. So we do need 7 to move on past Mahogany. But there are still some checks open. One more here in Tin Tower. Just a Super Potion.
Oh my goodness. The Ho-Oh is a Lugia.
What? Then?
Well then.
That's some nice XP to start out for the Moltres if the Lugia wouldn't use Soft Boiled. So probably better to just catch it. I mean, Lugia can be in backup maybe, although probably not against rock type moves as much. Huh. Okay, and now ShadowFrost with that Moltres will move on towards the Rocket Hideout.
Nothing there from Lance. So we'll probably see Dirts take on Price next.
Yep. Would be the logical choice here. Also going to check the guardhouse item here soon. And yeah, but that's only these 3 checks left until there's no more badge here to be found for ShadowFrost, and ShadowFrost would have to backtrack. But I think we have to find at least one badge here, or we would have to find one in the Ho-Oh chamber.
Yeah, it's one of those two for sure.
Because we did, again, do not find any part of Fly, and then they cannot be behind the boat. And yeah, we do not have much more checks left where they could actually be, so we do need to find something that opens up more checks very soon.
Yeah, and another thing to point out also, ShadowFrost, with him going to Rocket Hideout, is going to pick up Strength, so it very well could also be a Strength item check in Mount Mortar. It could also be Slowpoke Well too.
True.
So there's the pass for Dirts.
Well, that does open up options. At least a few. Yeah. And of course you are right with Strength. There's actually quite a bit more that opens up. And no more badge here, so yeah. ShadowFrost will also have to turn back. The important part here, though, is dertswa cannot check these strength checks here on the way towards Tin Tower, which I presume Dirt is going to next. And yeah.
Yeah, Dirts is going to ascend Tin Tower. He's been putting it off long enough.
Yeah. So after this, there is a decision to be made for Dirt. If you really want to go back into the 44 checks in Mount Mortar right now, you got the pass. You do now at that point have Ho-Oh chamber, Waterstone chamber open, Slowpoke Well. If you have to decide if you want to rather go down there or take that extra trip, which I definitely can see, considering that you still have no part of Fly, and you really do not really want to leave it behind there if you can help it.
Yeah, given the circumstances of what checks they have there, yeah, I could definitely see that happening.
It is just you have so many options to go for now, and what is the right move to do?
And there we see ShadowFrost now picking up the Pokedex. Oh, and Dirt's now staring down that self-destruct Wigglytuff. And again, the good news with that is it was on the last stage, so Dirt's can at least proceed to Tin Tower.
Yeah, I think Dirt will be a bit more unhappy, though, about the missing XP. Would have been nice to get you. And not needing to revive after this fight definitely would have been also preferred. But alas, that's not how it turned out. So Dirt's definitely having the option of just trying to feint the Moltres for some more XP. interesting, going for Thunderbolt. Maybe he wants to catch it. Okay.
Looks like he's going to. And catches it.
Again, can be a backup. I don't think that you even consider switching off the Kingler at this point, not with it having Thunderbolt, Surf, and the potential Ice Punch TM.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Yeah, that's your perfect special coverage right there, having Surf, Thunderbolt, and Ice Punch.
Yeah. I mean, it cannot hurt taking a look at it. Maybe it has an even more insane moveset. You never know. And yeah. Again, having it as a potential backup, especially since it should have Sleep Powder, right? I think that was on there. Having it as a potential sleeping move in the back of your pocket can maybe help in some situations.
Another thing also to point out as well, the difference with ShadowFrost doing that can you return check for machine part, that could be big later on.
Oh, maybe could. That is actually completely in logic. We do have flash access. So the path through Rock Tunnel is fully in logic. So we can turn that in.
The result starts to pick up the Plane Badge, so now that gives them access with strength.
And there is some interesting routing potential for ShadowFrost, who was not to Olivine yet, to just go over to Olivine, take the boat from there, and go to Kanto that way, because Fly can be in Kanto now that we found the pass, or now that ShadowFrost will also probably find the pass soon. So getting that additional boat check in there can definitely be something to think about. Yeah. And while the boat may seem slower in comparison, since we do not have Fly to get back to Goldenrod, the pass is not really as much faster as it would be usually, if you decide to take the checks in Olivine first.
Yeah, and as noted out by Chad also, there are 12 total checks remaining in the Ruins of Outchamber, so there's always the possibility that something, maybe Fly and Storm Badge both could be hidden behind those chambers, maybe another progression item, but that's where a big bulk of your checks usually are the Ruins of Outchambers.
Only 8, at least for Dirt, because we did check the Flash Chamber much earlier in the seed, so we had to backtrack. And of course the escape prober was already checked. We did check the checks in Union 2, so it's Slowpoke well that you can count into that too, so it would be 10. But yeah, every check else around there we did actually make already, since we had to backtrack there already once.
Yeah, we just saw a rather interesting moveset from the Lugia. So it used soft boiled, but in addition to that, it had double edge and it had double team. So it was rather annoying. So it looks like Dirts is going to check the strength locked item here in Burn Tower.
Yeah, I mean, you are already here and it is in logic, so definitely why not? It's not too long to get to it.
Just an Ultra Ball.
And I do think that will most likely also mean Dirt is going to check the mortar items. Going to do a save for that though, to be able to reset out of Mount Mortar and not have to cycle back. Will not save too much time, but it will save a few seconds. Oh, and the expansion card.
That's huge. The expansion card now gives Dirt's West Kanto access, but the unfortunate part is that Dirt still has not picked up Cut/Hive Badge or Waterfall.
So, although you now have potential access to the level 50, it doesn't really do much good for you at the moment. Especially Dirts is unlikely to switch off of that Kingler at this point. So it would have been probably would have to be one of the most insane Snorlaxes it could be.
I hope you're not talking about Mewtwo.
I think Mewtwo isn't the only one that can be insane.
Yeah, we've seen wild things happen before. You never know.
I think a Thunderbolt Zapdos would still be consideration, at least, or stuff like that. But there's not much stuff like that. That's for sure. And I mean, no Mewtwo is really complete without Psychic, isn't it?
Oh, this is a smart play also by Dirts. So Dirts does not have 7 badges yet. However, Dirts is going to opt to take the early basement, which is honestly, it's a good play because there is a big bulk of checks, and if there is a badge hidden down there, he can knock out the real director check in addition to all the other checks down there.
Yep, Kingler is more than powerful enough to get through Rival 3 at this point. Or Rival 4. I can count. But yeah, and as you mentioned, if you get a 7th badge in there, yes, you do have to take a few additional fights potentially, but yeah, you can full clear this at this point without having to do Radio Tower. And we are at 6 badges, which is probably the most optimal setup for that. You just kind of hope that the badge you find is in the second room and not the first. That way you get to save a few more fights.
Yeah, so probably Dirts will save before checking these 2 items in the first room. ShadowFrost's egg is hatching. And it's an Onyx. How unexpected. I'll be here all day.
ShadowFrost also checking the strength item in the basement. Burn Tower. And ShadowFrost is potentially going to Olivine, and we may potentially see that play with the boat. I wouldn't hate it.
Yeah, it's definitely not a bad idea as well. Dirts did check both of those items in the first floor of basement. Nothing there, so we could potentially see a badge in the next room.
Yeah, which would the most optimal. So, I don't know. There's the radio card for ShadowFrost. And no badge here in the basement. So now there is this slim chance, now that Dirt could not check the director, that there is something required on there, and Dirt is going to leave Dirt there for a while. And Dirt is going to do Socks and Girls. Huh.
Yeah, while you're in the vicinity of Goldenrod, might as well knock that check out.
It is a rather slow check in comparison to some of the stuff you can do, though, although you do not really have much more access currently without Cut. And Fly is very limited in its placements. Yeah, so, yeah. But yeah, if you intend to do the Waterstone Chamber and Hole Chamber, of course, it is on the way, so I can see it. Yeah, does make sense. Yeah. Kind of forgot about those again, since we do have now Snorlax access, but that doesn't do much for us.
Yeah, as I mentioned before, it's not going to do much considering that ShadowFrost does not have the combination of Cut and Hive Badge or Waterfall.
Yeah. And I mean, even if we would have Waterfall, that wouldn't do us much good. We do need 8 badges to get to, or to be able to get to West Kanto, and we already had the point that we have the problem with not having 7 badges. How would we get to 8? Although there are still checks on the way. Well, 1. We do not have Whirlpool. We do not have Glacier Badge to use Whirlpool. So if the Route 26 item would be exactly Glacier Badge, and then another badge would be the Whirlpool locked item on Route 27. Whirlpool would allow us to access West Kanto then that way at that time, but that is way too specific to be likely. And we still do not have Waterfall for that. But Snorlax time.
Snorlax is a Beedrill.
Yeah, I think you pass on that. Yeah, that's the wrong check you do currently. You do have to turn the machine part first. It is... I don't know. You could have checked the 2 items behind the... path there just now.
Oh, there's Fly for ShadowFrost.
You could have checked them with a safe reset and see if there are something usable soon, but yeah, Fly definitely helps. Will make your movement much smoother once you find that Storm Badge that still can be hidden in some very bad place.
I don't think ShadowFrost has check code, Chamber, has he?
Nope.
Alright, we're gonna see what checks are here. There's Boulder Badge.
That's badge number 7. And there is Waterfall. Oh, now it gets interesting.
Yeah, all these checks now get very interesting.
ShadowFrost fighting that one biker is setting up to be able to return this Y easily without having to do 3 fights. If Shadow does not find the Storm Badge over here on the remaining checks.
So Dirt's found the bicycle in Waterstone Chamber.
Yeah. Double the
extra set of wheels.
Yeah, double the bicycle means double the speed. That's how it works.
Dirt's upgraded his bike from an acro bike to a mock bike.
Nice. I'm setting up or learning or teaching waterfall, and I think this specific position to menu and then probably save is meaning that Dirts is going to check back of Montmortar first. Yep, that's exactly what's going to happen. So these are 9 additional checks that will happen here.
Dirt's egg is also hatching.
More onyxes for the world.
How unexpected of that to happen.
Just a max potion on the Fisher on Route 12. And ShadowFrost is going for the rock tunnel and the machine part turn in.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. There's 5 checks in Rock Tunnel here. One of them could be Storm Badge.
Yep.
So I think for the first time in this race, we are seeing a total deviation of checks between both of our runners.
At least checks that the other one isn't likely to do very soon. Although, maybe.
There's the good rod.
Some TMs on both sides.
Silverwing for Dirts.
Could potentially give us access to the level 60 Lugia. Ooh, that is HM01.
So Dirts more than likely is on the hunt for Hive Badge here.
Which at this point definitely could be in West Kanto. Well,
there's
now
Glacier Badge.
Well, then, you know, Dirts might delay Kanto for a few more minutes. Don't you think?
Yeah, that's basically going to guarantee that Dirts will probably go do Whirl Islands. And keep in mind, Dirts also has that Silverwing, so we are probably going to see what the level 60 is there.
I mean, stayed all the time here. Might as well do all of it. You can now check Chuck on after all taking that, and then take the boat over to Kanto. Finally, get your fly. And to be fair, Storm Badge can be over here.
It very well could be. Ooh, Dirts hits an optional there.
Yeah, bonked on the ledge before, and that messed up the movement. Didn't get the turn after that. Feels a bit unfortunate. Okay. Expansion card check. It's a
Mineral
badge.
Nice.
Badge number 7 for ShadowFrost. And I spoke of the need for anything that Dirts can find to consider the main switch needs to be very impressive. Well, the level 60, that is a level 23 level difference compared to the Kingdra right now, so that might open up the options of potential main switches a bit more.
Oh, definitely. And it'll speed things up as far as, you know, taking on different trainers. Speaking of trainers, looks like ShadowFrost has opted to go fight Sabrina. It's an interesting play.
Which is in logic, actually. ShadowFrost just got to the 7 badges needed for that, and yeah. In theory, the Moltres is definitely a Pokemon that should be able to handle it with if it does not get hit by Zap Cannons. Zap Cannons to boot. But let's see what the Lugia is.
Let's see what that 60 is indeed. It's a Vileplume.
Yeah. I mean, as a backup, sure, and Shadow Ball, definitely not the worst thing to have. But,
yeah, that's unfortunate.
I mean, you have a Kingdra with basically the perfect coverage.
Oh, there's Storm Badge. Okay, so we know that Fly is in Saffron, and then the Storm Badge to get Fly is in Whirl Islands.
Yep. So this is a bad Fly logic. Oh, well, that is a nice find for ShadowFrost. Sabrina was required. That's a Thunder Badge, I believe.
Yeah, it was a good strat there.
So for ShadowFrost, it will get a bit interesting in deciding what to do. Going to check out the item here in Cerulean Gym.
Bye a go-go.
But yeah, the
Volcano Badge for Dirts.
Now, what do we still need? We need a Soul Badge, a Marsh Badge, and an Earth Badge, and the Hive Badge. So 4 badges?
Yeah, 4 badges away from no mode.
ShadowFrost going back to Vermilion for that check of the Lost Doll, and is going to fight Surge.
Yeah, this is a very interesting play here.
I'm a bit curious about it, especially after you already found a badge on Sabrina, and you do still have all of Waterstone Chamber and such open that you can get back to with the past rather easily. I mean, maybe the kind of thinking that ShadowFrost wants to find stuff on checks that Dirts might not be as likely to do, considering that ShadowFrost did push for that level 40 Moltres, and that it's not something everyone does, so maybe kinda going with the expectation that Dirts' main is not as high in level, and therefore Dirts is not as likely to fight Kanto leaders. Yeah. ShadowFrost is only missing that Storm Badge. And Storm Badge definitely can be here on Surge. So, if that were to come to pass, that would definitely be a big advantage over most people. And if you leave that behind, you're not going to return there anytime soon. And ShadowFrost's slight problem here is that ShadowFrost has the quote-unquote useless part of Fly in consideration to finishing a seed. Because if you have the Storm Badge but not Fly, you can at some point just think about, well, I do not really need to find Fly, I just need to find badges. But if you do not have Storm Badge, well, you need to find it at some point. So might as well hunt it down.
Alright, let's do what Surge gives. Just an HP up.
Too helpful.
And we also see Dirts on Chuck. The Pokédoll check is Nugget. So nothing else required behind expansion card except for the expansion card check itself, that being Mineral Badge. Correction, Machine Park quests.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I missed the entirety of Cyanwood, but I don't think there was anything on there.
Yeah, Cyanwood had nothing.
Yeah, so it basically is a Mineral Badge and Thunder Badge versus Storm Badge and Boulder Badge and Glacier Badge. Storm Badge, Boulder Badge, Glacier Badge, and Volcano Badge that our runners found respectively. And ShadowFrost is just going to do the radio tower.
I like this play as well because after defeating the Rockets, ShadowFrost, again, will have access to Blackthorn by virtue, again, of having Strength and Flame Badge. But this also unlocks Player's Gem.
Yep. And it does make sense. Like, can be here. Everything that ShadowFrost did to get badges was well within Fly logic. I believe, at least.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. Dirts is taking the boat to Kanto, so there is a possibility we might see Dirts end up with Fly very soon.
Yep. Kinda expected. I'm curious if this will actually go and check the two items behind the Snorlax. The Road 2. Which I definitely would be way more interested in Dirt's position, because if that is just a Hive Badge, you can basically go do all of West Kanto at that point.
Yeah,
you probably would reset it once more to hunt down Fly first, but
yeah,
just knowing that
like that, you definitely check those two items if you want to do so, but definitely want to save before doing so that way you don't end up backtracking through Ridiculous Cave. So I mean, I think it's a good play. I don't mind the play. It's 2 checks after you've woken up the Snorlax.
has made over 2 Vermilion. can now finally wake up that Snorlax. Which is kind of funny, because dertswa had earlier access to the Snorlax, but never went around to get there, actually. Just found always other stuff to do. Yep, looks like Dirts is continuing on. And then remembering to probably do a save reset.
Yeah, as I mentioned, I don't mind this play whatsoever. Again, it's 2 very quick checks. So we'll find out in a few seconds what they are. There's a lure ball, and then he's going to check this house that has a nugget, and it is the Marsh Badge.
Ooh, this is a question. Okay, Dirt's apparently just taking it back. There is definitely a reason to say maybe save, reset it away. You know where it is, and just hope that you find cuts before you have to go to West Kanto. Or Hive Badge, rather.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
I mean, the backtrack is not too bad. And you really do not need to get too fancy with your save resets.
So Dirts is about to pick up Fly here, it looks like.
Yep.
So now Dirt's having the big advantage of having both Fly and Storm Badge, so it's going to speed things up rather quickly for Dirts.
We'll definitely have to do the backtracks after turning in the machine part, which will make that more easily. The interesting question will be, though, at what point will Dirts decide to fight Sabrina? Is going to do the fighting dojo check first and not going over to Sabrina, which means Dirts is likely going to put her off for a few minutes at least. Which I absolutely can understand now that you have Fly and the ability to do so many quick checks.
Yeah, definitely. And if Dirts or ShadowFrost find lost item, I mean, there is a possibility that either runner will turn it in, most definitely. But if Dirts finds it, then there's no doubt that Dirts will complete Saffron all in one go.
Yeah, this is a badge that Dirts is not going to pick up in the near future, and that could be something that in the end turn to an advantage for ShadowFrost.
And speaking of ShadowFrost, ShadowFrost is going to go fight the False Director.
I did not see any badges pop up in the radio tower yet.
I did not either.
So far, this play didn't really turn out, but we do still have to remember there is one check in the basement, namely the director, the real one, that wasn't checked by Dirts because Dirts could not. And if that is another badge, that again could be a big advantage.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And the reason why Dirts could not talk to the real director is because he did not have 7 badges at the time. So that could be critical.
So Dirts will be somewhat deterred from doing radio tower at this point if he does not have to. And that could be a factor. Oh, that's a secret potion.
That is a secret potion indeed.
That is a factor that could maybe get into play once Claire would be a consideration. Because if Claire has something, then currently ShadowFrost would be in a better position to get to it, having done Radio Tower already. And we are looking for 3 more badges in Cut, Soul, and Earth Badge. Or in Hive Badge, Soul Badge, and Earth Badge.
Yeah, those are the last 3. Dirts is about to pick up Mineral Badge here, it looks like.
Okay, and Dirt's back here for that poke doll check. Gets the nugget. Probably not going to fight Surge at the moment. Yep. Leave that for later. And yeah, in Dirt's position, I could just see him take Waterfall and go to West Kanto next.
Yeah, definitely would be a smart play to do West Kanto, given that you have Flied, you have access to West Kanto with all the badges and the required items necessary.
We can do the other 7 badge check first, though. Going towards Blackthorn now that we do have the necessary amounts of badges does make more sense.
Yeah, we haven't seen what other checks past Strength are in Ice Path, so we're going to find out if there is indeed Hive Badge there or just any other potential badges we are not aware of.
Well, we hadn't even seen the checks here on Route 44. We have not seen anything in Ice Path. We had not access to it yet. So this is a whole new set of new checks here that Dirts is going to show us. Is that a full restore?
Yes, it was.
Huh. We saw Dirts make room for an elixir. I think full restore is another item where you can consider making room for.
Yeah, generally full restores are very important, given that, again, not only all of your HP is healed, but also your status as well. And those are very important, especially later on, potentially against Red.
Was that intended for Dirts?
I don't think it was, to be honest.
Unfortunate.
But at least he doesn't have to save reset for that check now.
Yeah. And Real Director just revived, so Dirt's not missing out on anything there. A huge bullet dodged.
And lost item for
That's
Dirt.
the lost item. Yep. Can be the incentivizer to go back into Sabrina, which would be needed. And Sabrina really is not the longest check to do. It's just one fight with 3 Pokemon. The Kingdra is high enough in level that it should not struggle much. So that Thunder Badge, although a seemingly advantage for ShadowFrost, probably won't be or will be found by Dirts comparatively soon.
So Ice Path having a whole lot of nothing, just lost item, it looked like.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, we are only looking for 3 more badges, and we do have quite a few checks left open where they could be. So have Ice Path itself not having a badge, maybe not that surprising. It would be more surprising if the entirety of Ice Path, Route 44, Route 45, and Dark Cave has nothing. And there's an Earth Badge, so yeah.
The
Two
only
more to
badges
be.
we're missing that we don't know about are Hive Badge and Soul Badge.
Yeah, and with how this is turning out, Hive Badge it just seems more and more likely to be in West Kanto.
Has Dirts even done Radio Tower yet?
Nope.
This could be interesting. Bro, 45 having nothing, just a rare candy and a max revive, I believe, and that was it.
I mean, candy's definitely nice to have if you do not find a badge. And we know there are only 2 more to grab, and Dirt is now going to West Kanto. As expected, as ShadowFrost does pick up the Boulder Badge and Waterfall. So we'll get onto the track to get the Glacier Badge, to get the Storm Badge, and more that was there, I believe. Marsh Badge, I think. Two badges away from no mode. We are missing Hive Badge and Soul Badge. Frost done with the Waterstone Chamber. Now on the way to go do Mount Mortar, most likely.
Yeah, that's probably what ShadowFrost's next play is going to be.
Yep. Thus we'll get the Glacier Badge. And then there's another interesting decision for ShadowFrost. ShadowFrost has that secret potion, and on the way to Well Islands you will get past that lighthouse. So take a detour for 2 more checks.
Yeah, it could potentially have something. It is out of the way, but it's a check that it's right there, especially along your path.
Yeah, and again, I think that could also be Storm Badge from ShadowFrost's perspective. Or where was that secret potion again?
Secret potion. Trying to remember. I'm not 100% certain.
Huh.
I don't think it was in Rock Tunnel. I'm not 100% sure.
False Director.
It was False Director. Thank you. Yes, it was False Director.
Yeah, so in theory it could be. Ah.
So no notable items there in Victory Road for Dirts.
Moving onwards to Viridian City. There's silvering for ShadowFrost. Frost does pick up the Glacier Badge, and there's Hive Badge. And this is the position where you, if you did reset away the Marsh Badge, you could just quickly go over there, do the cut the cut bush, and pick it up again.
And this is also a very interesting scenario now because this opens up a lot more checks for Dirts.
Yeah. And there's just one more badge to find, which
And that being the Soul Badge.
Yeah, that is the kind of point where it can become very, very interesting. Especially if the Soul Badge would turn out to be on the secret potion.
Yeah, it would be something. Yeah, so if ShadowFrost finds the Soul Badge, this could be huge.
Yeah. And ShadowFrost is going to check it, which does make sense again.
Yeah, I like this play by ShadowFrost.
And yeah, Derts is missing the Thunder Badge that was on Sabrina. That is one of the more faster checks to do though, so Derts is more likely to pick that up sooner than later. So it's really all about that Soul Badge and where it is. Because ShadowFrost will get to that Storm Badge and the Volcano Badge soon. And with where the Hive Badge and the Marsh Badge are, ShadowFrost will be getting those very soon after that.
So now with Dirt's having Cut and Hive Badge, these two checks here on Route 12 are available.
Yep.
And nothing there. Now it looks like Dirt is going to go check the cut items behind the Lake of Rage. That giving 3 checks.
Picks up this Super Rod.
Alright, and we see Shadow turning in the secret potion there, so Jasmine is officially available as a check.
Dirts is checking the Route 32 cut-locked item. That was
nothing
PP
there,
up.
just a PP up.
And over to Saffron. That was most likely Lost Door turn in, probably followed by Sabrina.
And a full restore.
Yep. Nope. Oh.
It looks like Dirts is going to Celadon.
Which...
So there's potentially might go fight Erica now that he has cut.
I think it's more likely that we are going to see Janine first and Route 15. Those are fewer fights and the faster checking the TMs. Did not seem anything desirable in there, and doing some X item shopping. This should be way more than enough. Going to teach Earthquake to Kingrad, definitely nice choice.
I definitely agree with that.
And teaching Ice Punch too. Over Dragon Breath. Dragon Breath served us well, but it has...
yeah. I didn't quite catch what ShadowFrost got from Jasmine there. I don't think that he got anything.
Yeah, seems like it. I'd imagine that we would get some very excited mention over the chat, which I didn't see, so I think it's more likely to assume didn't happen. Frost running into a swimmer here. It's not the 6-poke one, so it's worst case avoided, but still 3 pokes. Not something you really want to have happen in the kind of seed where it could come down to any second to hunt down that last badge. And Derts is going to do Erika first, though. Which I can get behind. Erika has 2 checks compared to most other camp leaders only having 1. And ShadowFrost apparently not really too firm with how to get to where in World Islands ShadowFrost wanted.
Unless ShadowFrost was trying to get a fly point access for Sea and Wood, that could be a thing as well.
Yeah, but that would not have been achieved by going down the middle, which ShadowFrost attempted to do first, and then turning back, seeing the trainer there, so yeah. I mean, we know that ShadowFrost will get its Storm Badge in here, so actually can make use of that fly point.
Yeah, in addition to that, also, ShadowFrost is about to check the level 60 here, I assume.
Yeah, we are going to see it.
Yeah,
ShadowFrost...
I'm sorry, go ahead.
ShadowFrost has less reason to switch, though. His Moltres is at level 48, so the level difference is quite a bit less, and yeah. Vileplume really is not that great.
Yeah, it's not really the best in this situation, but now with Moltres, as you said, being level 48, there's no reason to main switch.
Can take it as a backup. That's definitely an option you have.
Yeah, that's not
a bad idea. It is at level 60 after all. And if you are running into a rock-type Pokemon, that could be bad for Moltres. That probably won't be bad for Vileplume. And Erika has a Sweet Scent and a Dire Hit.
There we see ShadowFrost finally achieving his Storm Badge.
And looks like we are going to get a check on Blaine and maybe Blue. More likely though, getting Blaine into Janine with checks.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
The Volcano Badge for Shadow. So what ShadowFrost has to do still is go over to do the Ice Path and over to the Dark Cave from Blackthorn side, which is going to happen next to pick up the Earth Badge. And then has to head over to West Kanto, grab the Hive Badge, make use of it almost immediately to grab the Marsh Badge. And yeah, then it's down to the Soul Badge hunt. Which Dirts definitely has quite a bit of an upstart on it.
Yeah, for the most part.
There's no doubt on that. But ShadowFrost has done Sabrina where the Thunder Badge is. Dirts has to do that at some point. ShadowFrost has done Search already, so there are a few Kanto leaders down. I think that should have been a repel, not an escape rope. Always unfortunate if that happens. But yeah, so ShadowFrost might not be doing the same check Dirts is doing and might opt for maybe some other stuff that is not as fast first. So I think there's still a good chance that ShadowFrost can find Soul Badge first. And especially there is Claire, and if it is behind Claire, ShadowFrost is in a way better position to check that.
Yeah, given that Claire takes up a lot of time in regards to that check, you have to do several trainer fights in the gym and then a fight in Dragon's Den on top of that as well.
Yeah. And for Dirts, that would also require to do all of the fights remaining in Radio Tower, which then most likely would prompt Dirts to also check the real director item. See some mentions in the chat of a check that the commentators in here do have a story with. So yeah, that too is an option. And it can always be interesting to see what it turns out to be if that is needed. But how about an E4 play? At what point would you consider that?
I always dread of Elite Four being something that could be a play.
I'd assume we are still quite a bit off of that, but it has happened before.
What do you want from me? I've had 2 ROMs in this entire tournament with Elite Four being required. There's Earth Badge for ShadowFrost.
Just to revive here at Route 15. And that's Sabrina? Does look like it.
Yeah, it looks like Dirts is gonna go fight Sabrina. We know that's where Thunder Badge is located.
Yep. As mentioned, was bound to be happen sooner than later. It is one of the quicker fights you can do. Maybe the quickest. Kanto leaders. Depending on your main's level. And ShadowFrost is going to go to West Kanto, so we will be tied, probably, or badge tied, probably very soon.
Yeah, it's gonna come down to who finds Soul Badge first.
Okay, we are going to get that search fight too. will be no more progress.
So, different observations that we're looking at for potential checks here. There's Claire, there's Blue, there's the Hedge Maze in addition with Misty. There's Brock, Mount Moon, Elite Four. What do you think would be the best play, in your opinion, out of those variety of checks?
Hard to say. Definitely depends on what you've done. I think dertswa definitely hasn't or isn't really in a good position to have Claire as a good check. So I'd imagine at least do Brock. This is a very fast fight. Potentially do E4 or Route 4, and maybe route that into Nugget Hedge Maze. Could go for Blue, although maybe wait on that until you get a few more levels and therefore don't Nugget Hedge Maze first. It is hard to say though. For ShadowFrost, there should definitely be the consideration of going for Claire, having done the radio tower.
Yeah, given that after you've completed the gym, you get 5 checks immediately in Dragon's Den. So we'll see what happens.
Again, for ShadowFrost, I would probably go for Claire, for Brock first, and you can go do Erika. It is 2 checks that do take a few fights though. That one is debatable. I would probably hold off on Nugget Hedge Maze in favor of Claire. But you could do one or the other.
And then we saw ShadowFrost finally picking up the Hive Badge, so that will give him access to all the cut-related items.
Yeah, and I mean, when you are already here, grabbing that Marsh Badge, I would presume you just go and do Brock while you're here, considering that you only need one more badge, and Brock really does not take too long. Yeah, 1 soul badge away for both of our runners. Not? Oh, okay. Has not checked the button. Never mind. Okay, and it is not Brock, and ShadowFrost is not going to do Brock.
At least not yet.
Yeah, this indeed looks, instead looks like Blaine. Meanwhile, Dirts is going for Route 4, which does make sense. You are here already, you are saving flying 1 time if you do it now, and again, you can route this into the Nugget Hedge Maze, and Dirts really does not want to see Claire as an option. It is a question for ShadowFrost. Do you do the quick Canto leaders now that you have open? Do you do blue. Your Moltres is definitely able to do it, but still not really that high in level. So it still takes some setup and could struggle. And yeah. You could go do Janine and Route 15, which you probably should, considering Route 15 is so fast. And Janine is a pretty easy fight for 2 checks. But after that, ooh, another Earthquake, this time not by a TM. But there's definitely a question about at what time should ShadowFrost go for Claire. Really swinging all over at Route 19. That's not what you have to do. You could just swim up, swim to the right, and it would be much easier, but okay. Is going to Fuchsia. We do see the Janine fight. And Route 4 is an experience share, so nope. And Dirts is apparently taking the radio tower. I mean, okay, it is additional 4 checks. 5 with false director and a 6th with the real director. It is experience, as mentioned in chat. And we know there's a secret potion behind this that you could turn in.
So yeah, this could deviate Dirts away more from Claire and other checks as well. So we'll see if ShadowFrost can capitalize on that.
I mean, it is a bit questionable in the sense that Dirts did make an or did make the call out to delay this radio tower for quite a bit, and especially did the basement without it. So yeah, more likely your opponent, if it is in here, has done this earlier than you, and if it were the badge, then you probably are in a bad position.
Yeah, definitely. And on top of it, with ShadowFrost having done the rockets already at Radio Tower, he could opt to go do Claire whenever he decides to do so. So this gives ShadowFrost a somewhat of an advantage here.
So that is the kind of reasoning why I probably would have preferred Dirts to go for Nugget Hedgemaze rather, but again, this is in theory so much items behind here, so I definitely can understand going back there now. The fast checks now in Kanto are done. Now it's just slow things. And ShadowFrost still has all the cut checks left to catch up on, so this can still take a bit. So I can see ShadowFrost doing these checks here, then going to do the Lake of Rage checks. Which again, I might actually try and hold off on turning in the lost item. Since you were so late to cut, if it were to be the quick checks behind it, your opponent probably with a different routing would already be done. But there's always these mind games. They can be so hard to do or ignore, because you do not know what your opponent did, and there's so much that could have happened. So yep, Lake of Rage, as expected. after this is the big question. What does Shadow do? Claire is this location, a single most location, the location with the most items. It does take quite a bit to get through, though. There's the Nugget Hedge Maze, which has still 3, if you count Misty. You do have Brock and Route 4, which Brock is also not too slow. Route 4 does feel a bit slower though, and you kinda feel compelled to do it after. ShadowFrost apparently did not do Chuck yet, so okay, that's 3 pretty quick checks too. I definitely can see this doing this before Claire. Dirt is done with the radio tower. We'll get 3 times nothing here, and then gets the 3 secret potion, probably. There's the option to skip the Force Director, which I don't see happening, but it is just 1 single check, which does take not too long, but it does also take a bit. But yeah, Dirts will get that secret potion. So yeah, there will be that question, will Dirts take that detour for Jasmine? Which would be another 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes lost there. That would give ShadowFrost the option to get a head start on finding this old badge again at Claire, for example. Okay, and I think we are going to see blue from ShadowFrost.
Yeah, this is a big play right here for ShadowFrost.
So it's a check we did not see yet. Is this a fight that could or can potentially be very hard? Blue has a very strong team at around level 58 to 59. So that's not the team that every Pokemon can just get through at any point.
Yeah, Blue has 4 Pokemon at level 56 and 2 at level 58.
Okay. Yeah. Thundershock, not the move you have to really to fear the most, but still super effective and a chance to paralyze. Not what you really want to see. Looking for the full restores ShadowFrost does not have.
Yeah, that also cost ShadowFrost for not picking up those full restores earlier.
Now, okay. Then I will use candies now to make this fight easier. Probably a good choice if you're going to want to check blue.
Looks like Dirt is going back up the lighthouse here to go fight Jasmine.
Checking on the TMs if there is something that makes the fight more usable. This will Moltres, or that will use Moltres to not need as much of a setup. Oh, and now switch out. Gets a crit though. Back to the Goldenrod. No paralyzed this time, so 2 down, 4 more to go. And yeah. No good thunder move in the TMs to be found. I mean, there's Zap Cannon, but that's not a move you want to rely on for normal fights, at least.
Oh, this Polytoad is a problem. It used Double Team twice in addition to Bubble Beam, but thank goodness the Moltres was able to take care of that.
Pulver to finish needs to rely on Earthquake most likely, or push through with Ice Punch won't help much either, and Seismic Toss will kill. And I guess Blue is gonna heal this.
Dirt is going to Claire's gym.
Yep. I mean, if you did decide to do Radio Tower, why not just do Claire after? There's not much else you have left. And if you took the trouble to do the Radio Tower and found nothing behind it, you really want to make this decision to pay off.
Absolutely. We saw the Poliwrath get full restore there by Blue. Now, I believe Blue has 1 full restore, or maybe 2, I'm not sure. But Blue did use that full restore there.
In this ascent of this, oh god.
Oh, the further stall out the Moltres.
I did set up 2 X attacks though, so Earthquake will finish the job here. So, it is just an escape rope, so this was nice experience for the Moltres, but it did not help. And now Claire is unfortunately an advantage for Dirts.
Yeah, this is a huge check here for Dirts. If Soul Badge is behind Claire's gym and Dragon's Den, then Dirts is going to have an advantage going to red.
Yep. And ShadowFrost most likely needs to do shopping before going to red. The current setup is probably not enough. That Moltres will need some help for the setup. Ooh, Gyarados rollout. Better kill that fast.
Yeah, that hurts. In addition to that also, I think ShadowFrost, looking at his bag inventory, definitely needs to buy healing items.
Yep. Yeah, the checks where ShadowFrost couldn't get an edge over Dirts are dwindling because whatever ShadowFrost does now, Dirts is probably going to get there first. So if it is not here, which ShadowFrost kinda has to hope for, ShadowFrost has to make a big play. And I think at this point, with only the Nugget Hedge Mace and left, really. Well, Dirts could fight Blue, that would give ShadowFrost some time back. But yeah, I think at this point, if it is not here and ShadowFrost wants to get an advantage, would probably need to go for E4 at this point. Because I feel it's very likely that Dirts is going to do Nugget Hedge Maze next. And thus being faster there first.
Yeah, either check is not fun, but definitely E4 would make the most sense, even though it is 5 fights for 2 checks. With Nugget Hedge Maze, it takes a while as well.
Dirts is done with Claire. So now onwards to Dragon's Den. Get those 5 checks in. One more fight in here, just one Pokemon. And
there it is.
Claire was the answer after all this time.
So it basically comes down to what Red's lead is.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't see anything that the Kingdra would have trouble with that the Moltres won't. Because to bring it or to put a Kingdra into trouble, there have to be some really bad circumstances. So, Metronome Mewtwo? Metronome Kingdra? Stuff like that?
Really not much to say. It's coming down to the wire, folks.
ShadowFrost is going to pick up that Soul Badge very soon, but Dirts is already in Mount Silver. And again, ShadowFrost has to go to do a bit of shopping. Probably.
And also go talk to Professor Oak as well.
That takes an additional minute. Or a few seconds at least. They should both have the fly point down there. Yeah. Dirts is on red. Let's see.
And the lead is a Don fan.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to be much trouble. This needs to be Stab Earthquake, and Bite is definitely not it.
Yeah, that's not going to affect too much of what's going on with the setup. This is literally free setup here for the Kingdra.
Especially if it's going to use it again. Well,
it uses Egg Bomb this time. Yeah, that really hurts.
But it looks like Kingdra would live a crit from full health, so... Might want to take too many chances on it, but gets a bit of setup done here. One Egg Bomb is great to have, gets some free X item in, and maybe wants to go now, not risk an Egg Bomb crit here. And honestly, this should probably be enough for almost anything, except for maybe a Mewtwo.
Oh, that's
wants to do Smokescreen. Well, then.
Well, that'll do it.
Umbreon might get an attack in.
Yeah, it's going to survive
and it's
one hit
step
there.
bite, but that does not do much. Almost I will go down.
It's down to two Pokemon, excuse me. Hitmonchan for the next one.
Hitmonchan should also go down.
And now it's down to one Pokemon. Another
and it's again
Donphan.
Donphan, and that will just melt.
And that will do it.
And as ShadowFrost is getting into the red fight, Dirts has finished it. And will take this race.
And Dirt's finishing with an official race time of 2 hours, 45 minutes, and 47 seconds.
GG.
GG's indeed. Now let's take a look at ShadowFrost and see how he handles this setup with the Donphan. Ooh, that's an Egg Bomb.
Yeah, and that is the big problem. Moltres just has not that great of a defense. 1x defense is set up, but I think any Egg Bomb crit at any point will kill it. And the amount of healing items that ShadowFrost has is not too great, but we do have our winner here. GG's.
GG, Dirts.
That was something.
It sure was.
What did how far behind is Shadow? Is he close?
He is on red right now. Oh, that is a crit with Egg Bomb. That was unfortunate. ShadowFrost is on red as well.
Close. Very close.
So we had some really interesting race to see with two very diverging paths at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Storm Badge location was ridiculous. So.
Yep. Sure
does
was.
not surprise me.
It is to say though that ShadowFrost found Fly quite a bit earlier than Storm Badge. So
yeah.
While you were doing stuff in Johto just to find stuff to stay in Johto even more.
Mm-hmm.
Well, ShadowFrost did push through to the Tin Tower way earlier than you, after getting the Clear Bell, Mount Mortar, before going to Olivine or such. And then, did some mighty struggle with level 26 Seadra at the start, or 25 maybe, and 22 Articuno, but got through to the 3 stages. Most notably, thanks to the boom at the end.
Oh yeah, that was kind of funny.
Yeah. And basically then ran the Moltres from then on out. But that did lead ShadowFrost to get strength access earlier. And just not being to haven't been to Olivine, just said, okay, I now have the pass after doing the Rocket Hideout. Just go over to Olivine, take the bow to Kanto, and take the pass back. And this led to very different routes. But in the end, it came down to that Soul Badge.
Yeah, I was like, it's on Claire, it's on Claire, it's on Claire. I just had a feeling, but I still delayed it. I was like, it could be Brock, it could be Route 4. But then I was like, yeah, I should probably. I thought it was funny I could do early basement an hour and a half in, since there were like no badges for so long.
Yeah, there was a lack of badges in the first hour and a half of that run, which was crazy.
And then Hive Badge on West Side Kanto is always fun.
And we see ShadowFrost finishing up with an official race time of 2:49:38. GG's to ShadowFrost as well. Great race by both of our runners here.
GG. Very close. Yeah, I figured he would switch to the Moltres, but when you have Thunderbolt Kingdra, that was only 4 levels lower, I was like, nah. No reason. So.
Yeah, so the big thing in the start there definitely was you got to that Kingdra, ShadowFrost instead run with the Articuno, and speaking of, ShadowFrost has now joined us as well, so GG's again.
Yeah.
It was a great race.
GG, Shadow.
GG. It was something, wasn't it?
Oh boy, that fly location, or at least
Yeah.
storm
The
edge
storm
location.
Yeah.
Ah, that was something.
Would you
Let's
believe
get
I
it
got the storm badge before fly?
What you did?
Yeah.
Very true.
Dang.
Yeah, absolutely true. And neither of you got fly within almost 2 hours or stuff like that, or at least for a very, very long time. You're finding Storm Badge and Fly respectively. They were so apart on either side.
Oh wow, that's so cool. That's cool to hear. I was like, at that moment that I think I found a pass somewhere and that everything opened up where Fly could be. I was like, oh no,
Yep.
it's gonna be one of these seeds, isn't it?
I had the same thought.
But overall, I'm happy that for the first time this tourney, at least I didn't get an Elite Four seed, so that's something.
It was so close though.
It was getting very close, yeah.
Yeah, Rala and I were having that discussion about the possibility of E4 being required in this ROM. Thank goodness it was not.
Yeah, otherwise we would have been here for a little bit longer.
Yeah, I only had Nugget Bridge and Blue left, and the 4 checks in Dragon's Den that I didn't do.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
I did do Blue, but I skipped Erica and Brock and Route 4.
Yep.
And also Nugget Bridge, because Nugget Bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Also, it is we can point out ShadowFrost. You had access to Claire for quite a while, but never decided to go there early, which is kind of understandable. You did quicker checks first, but yeah, with Dirts having done an early basement play, not having gone to Kanto as early, Dirts also did decide to put off the radio tower for quite a long time, so...
I see.
Yeah, that was like the last thing I did. It was just like, alright. We got the card keys so early, it's probably the answer. So
Yeah, that's what I thought as well. So I was at one point thinking, like, yeah, I should do it now. I'm right next to it when I took the train back. I was like, I should do it now because when will I get Fly? That was like on my mind for like at least an hour. Like, when will we find Fly?
Yeah. But yeah, I can definitely recommend both of you to watch this back. It really was and there was some wild difference in there, and there were chances for both sides and their odds to pay off very big. And yeah, in the end, it was very, very close. So
Yeah.
great race.
I was so excited when I found the final badge and I entered Mount Silver and I was like, he hasn't finished yet. He hasn't finished yet. Do I have a chance? And right at the moment I started red, I was like, oh, so close.
Yeah, there was just the advantage of the Kingdra being definitely way better defensively, and that made the setup for Dirts definitely a bit easier.
yeah, thankfully.
It was close. And that Mewtwo that came up as second, that was a scare, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it
'Cause I
was
didn't
very...
set up the +6. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, it was very scary until we saw smokescreen on it. And it was like, oh, everything is good now.
Yeah. Also, ShadowFrost. I don't think you got to see it, but the Donphan actually had Bite So
He did it on the third attempt I had. It started with
Okay.
bite, and I was like, really, did I
Yeah.
really struggle with this setup so long, and I could have used bite all along.
yeah, and Dirts
Yeah.
got that on the very first try. So
Yeah.
It was still unfortunate that you got hit with that. I think it was on the first attempt you got crit with Egg Bomb, which really hurt.
Yeah, crit egg bomb, I think, barely killed me. It's from pool, and it was a bit annoying.
Yeah, I think it was just absurd how many times both of you guys were getting hit with Egg Bomb on the Don fan. Like, Egg Bomb
Yeah.
is 75 accuracy, but the amount of times that both of you got hit with it is crazy.
It was insane. I should use egg bomb more often, is what I learned from this.
no.
I used it.
There is a caveat. The accuracy in this game is only an approximation, and it works in the way that if you use it as the runner, you have to decrease 30% of that shown accuracy. If it's used by the opponent, you have to increase it by 30%.
Yeah, like
That's
the
how
AI
it works.
gets like 100% accurate zap cannons, and you get 0% accurate. It's just a quirk.
Yeah, I think you had that happen at one point. Genghis Khan missing all dynamic punches.
Oh yeah, I missed 5 dynamic punches on the very first trainer.
Ooh.
That's horrible.
Yeah, definitely wasn't a great start, but
No.
it happens.
But yeah, at least you recovered very nicely with that King Domain, which you took from the beginning to the very end from route. Was it route 29 that you caught the King?
Yeah, I got lucky that it
Oh.
caught on full health.
Yeah, it was definitely something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Unfortunate
it
that I
wasn't.
didn't see that.
Yeah, it wasn't just the easiest start though. The starting moveset definitely wasn't great, and the Golduck really spelled trouble in the first fight.
Yeah. You know, it was really the Magikarp that leech seeded me. That gave me,
Yeah.
you know, overpowered Magikarp. Can't deal with it. Yeah, I really like running Kingdra though. It's tanky and stab surf is great.
Yeah, I mean we are getting to look at the stats. 15 HP, 15 defense. It's not getting killed by anything physical,
No.
and 13 special to boot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was a good one. That was a good one.
Yeah, that is a pretty good Kingdra indeed.
TMs were pretty good in this ROM too, with Earthquake, Ice Punch. I guess that's what I used, but
Yeah, I think the Thunderbolt was learned naturally though on the Kingdra, right?
yeah.
Because that was a big point of struggle for Shadow at some point, not being able to really hit water types very good.
Yeah, that was a bit unfortunate. At one point, I got rid of what was it, Dragon Breath over Ice Punch, and then a Poliwrath came up, and I was like, oh, that sucks. That sucks.
But I think, all aside from that, with this matchup, Dirts, you do advance into the round of 16. Your opponent has already been known, and your opponent in the next round is Mr. Holmes.
Yep.
So it should be a very interesting matchup to see once that happens. So, but ShadowFrost, unfortunately, this is the end of the tournament for you, but you put up a very great performance, not just in this race, but all throughout the tournament.
Thank you. I did my best. I tried as best as I could.
Yeah, that's all that we can ask for. That's the most important thing. And like I said, you did a fantastic job in this race, in spite of not having Fly very early on, where Dirts ended up acquiring both of those pieces of Fly, that being Fly and Storm Badge, respectively.
I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy I was able to have a good performance here.
Yeah, it literally just came down to one badge between both of you, and both of you needed Storm Badge at the very end. So, like I said, you did a great job there. So.
Yeah.
But with that said, to everybody here on SpeedGaming, if you would like to check out both of our runners, from today's contest. Please be sure to check out both of their respective Twitch channels, linked there in the chat, and be sure to follow them on their respective Twitch channels. And I also want to say a special thank you to Rollin for being on co-commentary and helping with tracking as well.
Was a pleasure. Definitely, thanks for having me. Great race, and yeah, I always love to see what can happen in these. They are quite exciting.
Absolutely. And speaking of exciting matches, let's go ahead and go over what we have coming up on the SpeedGaming schedule. So Tuesday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern, we have Machu Midori going up against Diego Armando. And again, that's at 4:30 Eastern Daylight Time. And then on that same day at 7 p.m. Eastern will be myself, Bad News Nate, going up against Glacial. That'll be a round of 16 match. And then on Wednesday, April 13th at noon Eastern is a match with Tomcat versus Vandio. So all those matches coming up here on SpeedGaming and other SpeedGaming channels. So if you're not checked out any of the other SpeedGaming channels, including this one, please be sure to follow SpeedGaming and all of its respective channels for future tournament matches for the Pokemon Crystal Full Item Randomizer Tournament. And once again, a special thank you to the runners for stopping in for the post-race interview, for Rollin also being on co-commentary as well. And more importantly, to all of you in chat, we just want to say thank you very much for watching another exciting matchup in the Pokemon Crystal Full Item Randomizer Tournament. I'm Bad News Nate signing off with Rollin, Derts, and ShadowFrost, saying thank you very much for watching. Have a good rest of your day, folks.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Ciao, ciao.